training about 20,000 youths toward vertical smart farming agriculture. You know, Nigerians as a whole, when you look at the country at once, with the recent insurgency that we have had, and then because of the risks that the rural farmers cannot be able to farm, so I feel it is important for us to see how we can be able to train and retrain, identify farmers. Initially, we intend to organize a kind of what they call it, a workshop or a symposium or a seminar towards identifying some key what they call small scale enterprises, SMEs, whom they always focus on agri, like the kind of cooperative societies. So we intend to do this. After identifying them, we shortlist them and then we bring them onto a system whereby we can be able to generate our database for us to space them, plan them according to the time frame, so that they can be able to get an accurate training among their cooperative or with their staff, so that they can be able to achieve a desired result. So we intend to develop this framework for us to get at least to achieve these 20,000 farmers on vertical farming towards smart farming system. Wow. So now what we need now is for us to see that, okay, as I've said earlier, because of the nature of the insecurity, now we don't need much land. We don't need much land. We can be able to acquire small land and within the urban system, within the town, so that we can be able to organize them, and it will be safer. One, two, we can be able to use this hybrid so that it will have more profit, have more yield, and it's easier. So that at the end, the farmers cannot be stressed. But this training, it has a lot of pieces. You have to pace the farmers, you have to pace the program. Initially, how we can be able to organize, develop the infrastructures that we can be able to lay down for the farming, how to build the structure in terms of the piping for the irrigation, how we can be able to put all the desired result for that system of vertical farming that we want to do, and what sort of crops do we want to. We have to identify the same crops. Are we going on vegetables? Are we going to crop on other cash crops? So these are things that we can be able to lead, and all depends on those who need this crop, that we can be able to segment them. So let's say, okay, this group, we are going to focus on vegetables like tomatoes, cucumbers, and other things. The other ones, they will go for other, say, okay, let's say rice, so the onions, let's say other cash crop, even wheat. So these are the things that we need to place every segment of the selected SMEs that we can be able to train them. We are targeting this kind of training. We pace it around. Initially, we are scheduled to start from July from our donors, which we are trying to see how we can layers. So this is one thing, and by using this training, I believe we create employment. The trainers will go and train the trainers. So it's achievable, and is a lot of the headaches or bottlenecks in terms of the ordinary going to my method of traditional farming. It depends. That, as I've told you, there's a complete chain value that we are trying to build. Initially, first of all, we have to identify the selected SMEs and then the cooperative societies. For them to take this kind of thing, they must have we must have a procedure for them to be qualified before you start that training. So the issue of fee, there must be a certain fee, and that fee will be affordable for everybody. So that, but as I've told you, we are trying to see how we can, we are now trying to organize with the other donors. We are trying to see how we can be able to organize with also with what was said with the other government and non-governmental organizations, so that this one will ease and it will be achievable. The period is, we project 3 to 6 months training, and the locations we are trying to segment about all the 6 geographical locations about North Central. We are going to start in North Central here, around Abuja and Kefi axis. That's our starting point. And then we have Northeast, which we are going to set either Bono or Gobe. You understand? And then Northwest, we are going Kaduna, Kano. Then Northwest, Southwest, we are going on Ogun and Ibadan. And then what they call it, South-South, which we are trying. We are now liaising with our members in Port Harcourt and then Cross River. Then Southeast, Enugu and what they call this, Imo, sorry. These are the 6 geographical locations that we are going to start our framework. Our pilot program is going to start here in North Central. So we have to start here, but the other ones, as immediately we have started, the other one will take up, because we have all our members and some of our liaison offices there. So we are now liaised with other companies whom presenting, we have this set of programs. So this is a place we are trying to see. This project is a continuous process. It is going to be continued whether 2027 or not. This is an agriculture, it's not a political dimension or something. So an agriculture can continue. We have a project, we have a time frame and a timeline that we can start based from. The short term is 3 years, the mid term is for 6, and then the long term, our achievement is going to be 10 years project to 12 years. Because we are trying to achieve this project, we are now liaising with our German government too. Now we have to partner with them. So, and this kind of framework, we need to have a long-term project which can be sustainable and can be able to have an impact to the society. So it's not going to, we are not focusing on 2027. We are focusing beyond far, but we are just going around just within the city. And then even the other ordinary, the secret one is when you are looking at smart farming, you can even use the residential, you understand, home residentials. Those who they have their backyard, they can use this horizontal farming. They can use and they can achieve. I saw a lot of places whereby people are farming their, what they call it, yam and other cash crops. And it's going well within their compound, within their yard. So these are things we need to incorporate to the community. So there are a lot of trainings that we can be able to do. And then those trainings we can, the other ones, all the farmers that have got trained, then they can retrain the other societies or the communities. My advice is this. You see, right now as I've talking to you, the National Security Advisor Office, they are trying much well about how they can be able to see that they can be able to protect the community, for them to, the ordinary farmers or the rural areas can be able to get more access to farming and have a secure place to farm. I believe the NSA office, they are trying their best in collaboration with other government agencies to see how they can pilot and make sure that they will bring more, and then the people will participate, the youth can participate in more farming. I believe they are trying their best. And also, now the recent launch of the 2,000 doctors, another combined research, another agricultural implement. When you look at it, just 2 days ago, by the president. with our honorable Minister of Agri. I believe there's going to be a revolution in agriculture. With this mechanized farming, I believe, let's give us 2-3 years, everything will work. And a child we can penetrate and they can be able to see how we can go more hectares. And then the target, I think it's about 250,000 hectares achieved this year. So I think they're trying. And let's see how it goes. My advice to Nigerians is every Nigerian should focus on farming. Farming is a good business, especially the youth, those who have graduated. Whether you read English, whether you read physics, whether you read chemistry, whether you read any course, it's very important for you to go on farming because this white-collar job is not for everybody. And now, farming now is becoming very viable that anyone can be able to handle. So what I believe to all of these youth is, please let them go to farm, let them go back to farm. And then I encourage all the governors now to organize a program for especially all those unemployed youth. Let them engage, because with these youths who are educated now, they can be able to see how, with a little training, just little, can be able to achieve a lot of design. When you give them new seeds, give them new chemicals, they provide land for them and tell them that, look, with 1 hectare, you can get not less than 2 to 2.5 million. Just 3 months, 4 months. Tell me, what sort of work can we give you? If you are a civil servant, are you going to wait for 70,000 or 100 or 250,000 that can fit you? No. So I believe agri is the future. Agri is the key for sustainability and for food security. For us to achieve this food security, we have to go back to farm. At least from this year for another next 10 years. And we can be able to achieve a lot. That achievement is, we are not focused only, this achievement is not going to focus only 20,000. But the project's lifespan, we can say about 10 to 12 years, we can achieve about 100,000 youth. Project, when you look at vertical farming system and smart farming, we don't need much land. That's one thing. It's a sample of 10 hectares, 20 hectares is enough for certain projects because we are using kind of structures of what do you call it? There are some kind of infrastructure that we are using, which we don't need much land that we are going to have it. So I believe we don't need much land and it's going to be achievable. The aim is one, to get a new modern mechanized farming, new modern farming system, smart farming, you understand? And for us to see that we can get hybrid yield, hybrid seeds, so that also we are trying to avoid high risks of farming, either towards weather, that's kind of drought, flooding, and all these risks we are trying to avoid them when we are using smart farming system towards a vertical farming. Because when we say vertical, we are planting and then the road will be going vertical. We are not lying down, we are not going on horizontal, we are going vertical. So we have our own farmhouses that we can be able to develop, you understand, so that we can achieve that desired result. So the risk is minimal. We control the temperature, control the water, we control even the pace. There's a controlled environment that we can be able to use this system. So the risk is minimal. Because of the insecurity, that's why we are going back on this smart farming system and vertical system. Because we don't need to have a vast land, we don't need to go to rural, remote areas that can be able to, the farmers can not be able to have good access or the securities are at risk. So that place we can just have a place, a very convenient place, a very secure place, and then we can display. That's what I've told you, that You can use 20 hectares, 30 hectares, and you can achieve a lot of output. So we don't need to go to the remote areas whereby the risks of insecurities and everything. We are trying to avoid all these bottlenecks. Do you get it? So that is the reason why I appreciate the governor's side well, and I believe some of the governors too should have this as model to live that. Because now all the governors, they have a lot of money now. The allocation is okay. So like back home, the Niger State, what has to relate himself. And as I saw Katsina governor to have tried with this, other governors too, they are trying. Borno has been trying, Kaduna has been trying, now KB. So now, if they can be able to encourage agriculture, well, encourage the, buying more tractors, opening more lands, provide seed and other farm input, I believe we can achieve that result more commonly to the other governments, and especially, as I've said, our strategy is best. And please, more should be expected to other governors.